In Mark chapter 1 and verse 40, we read, "And a leper came to him, imploring him, and kneeling said to him, 'If you will, you can make me clean.' Moved with pity, he stretched out his hand and touched him and said to him, 'I will. Be clean.' And immediately the leprosy left him, and he was made clean." In Bible times, leprosy was an incredibly painful, extremely contagious illness. And if you contracted it, not only did you have the physical pain of this affliction, you were also forced to live your life apart from everyone else. For the safety of your loved ones, for the safety of the community, you could come nowhere near anybody else for fear that they might catch it and it might spread and that they might share in your pain. So to be someone with leprosy was to be an outcast. It was to be hurting and isolated and alone. And as this leper approached Jesus, do you see how he handled it? He didn't go back in revulsion. He met the man where he was. You can almost picture him leaning in for this conversation, not being scared of the person, but showing him great compassion. And as he sees this hurting, lonely man fall down before him, begging for Jesus to use that ability he had to bring him healing, Jesus does. But notice also how Jesus does. Because it's established for us throughout the Gospels that Jesus could heal people just by saying the word. But how did Jesus heal this man? This man that had been isolated and alone for so long. This man who had been in great physical pain. Jesus reached out, moved with pity, feeling for this man. Moved as he thinks about what life must be like for him. And when Jesus goes to heal him, he did so by touching him. Think of how long it must have been since that man had last known the gentle touch of another human being. Think about how much a hug has meant to you in a moment of pain or upon getting reunited with a loved one you haven't seen forever, and appreciate that when Jesus saw this hurting man, he was moved with pity and he chose to touch him. This is who Jesus is. This is how he sees us, how he moves towards us. And furthermore, appreciate that because Jesus is God's Son, whereas for anybody else, touching someone with leprosy would make you unclean. You'd be at risk for getting sick. You would need to go into a period of ritual impurity where you had to quarantine to make sure that you didn't develop the illness. Jesus, when he touches him, he doesn't take that man's uncleanness onto himself. He brings his purity onto that man. That man's pain and sickness didn't infect Jesus. Jesus's holiness healed this man. This is who Jesus is. If we'll allow him to meet us in our painful moments, if we'll receive the love and the pity and the compassion and the grace that he shows us and feel his touch, we can be healed. If as we live life each day, we will see people with those same sorts of eyes that Jesus saw them. If we'll think about where people are and what they're going through, and instead of pulling back or turning away, we'll lean in. We'll meet them where they are. We'll show them compassion. We'll treat them with dignity. We may even bless them with a caring touch. Then as we love them like Jesus, they'll experience healing too. you're going to encounter somebody that needs that Christ-like compassion this week. As you learn to see and know who Jesus is, ready yourself to be the one that shows that kindness to the hurting people around you.